Today we are going to talk about why Alabama brass is reportedly pissed that Tua Tagovailoa had to sit through media availability and Kyler Murray did not. And personal note from me about the channel and last night's live stream, and all that's coming up after the bump.
What do you mean you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel?
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always OU related, college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today we're going to talk about why Alabama brass is wet mad that Tua Tagovailoa reported to media availability and Kyler Murray did not. So I've been accused of burying the lead, and okay, I do that sometimes because I have other things that I want to say, but first, let's just get it on with. Alabama reportedly is mad that Kyler Murray got to skip media availability because of a malady of some sort. We don't know what it was. We just know from OU Communications that my man is sick. Sick can mean a lot of things. Sick could be flu. Sick could be sick and tired of these questions from the media about what I'm going to do with my professional future. Sick could be near death. Well, we hope not, and we don't think so because he reportedly practiced later that afternoon when media availability was in the morning. Meanwhile, Tua Tagovailoa shows up, takes on the questions, talks about what Alabama has to do against Oklahoma, and Kyler Murray talks about what he thought about not winning the Heisman, and talked quite a bit about his ankle and the surgery that he had to stabilize it. And that was kind of the issue that Alabama had was, look, why should we have to bring Tua Tagovailoa out here if he's got a medical issue? If he's hurt, isn't that the same as being sick? Why should we have to truck out our quarterback and they didn't have to truck out theirs? And you're beginning to see that this is kind of a thing that communications have used to get around the bowl committee saying, look, part of the signing the contract with this bowl game is you will make all of your players available to the media. It's one of the things they get to sell to media. It's one of the reasons that the bowl games are such a big deal for media, and one of the reasons why they fly and drive down there to try to get interviews and talk to players that they normally wouldn't be able to talk to because coaches get to say, no, you don't get to talk to that dude, particularly when we're talking about freshmen. But I really don't care. I know that a lot of people do, and most of it is the folks that are down there that are working for a living, whose job it is to ask folks questions about playing football, about life, about their coaches, about anything else that might be newsworthy. And when you don't make players available, you don't give an opportunity to do your job. Now, nobody here is going to pour one out for journalists and journalism and media because we've all decided for some reason that media is a bad thing. As a member of the media, I don't really agree with that. I think some folks are good at their job. I think some folks are not. Just like some masons are good at their jobs and some are not. Just like some basket weavers are better at their jobs and some are not. We say this about teachers. We say this about police. We could say this about journalists. Some are excellent, some are not. That does not mean you get to penalize all of them. That said, if Kyler Murray was sick, yeah, fine, sure. Don't show up to media availability. But if he was sick of questions, that's part of the gig, man. Like that, the full stop. Stop there. You're the quarterback of Oklahoma. You're the Heisman Trophy winner. You're the biggest deal at this thing and after this thing. So yeah, it's on you to try to take those questions. Now, Baker Mayfield set a precedent when he had the flu and showed up looking awful, taking on questions because he decided that he wasn't going to make his teammates speak for him or his coach speak for him. Now, Kyler's a different kind of cat, and they lead differently, and I'm not saying that Kyler's less of a quarterback because he didn't go. I am saying that this is the story now until Saturday. Its story is stuff like Alabama getting all wound up because they have media responsibilities that they have to meet to, just like Oklahoma. When really, if you left it up to coaches and you left it up to players, they would never talk to media. They just wouldn't do it because they don't see it as a thing for which they need to participate unless they're using it to do something to put forward their agenda. Kirby Smart used this latest college football playoff overnight to say Georgia is one of the 4 best teams in college football and we should definitely be playing a college football playoff because I'll tell you one thing, that coach over there at Alabama, he wouldn't want to play us again. That's why you should let us in. Otherwise, you know what he's not talking about? Justin Fields transferring. He's not going to want to have a conversation about that at length. He's not going to go on Scott Van Pelt's radio show to talk about why or why not Justin Fields is unhappy to be at Georgia and is looking at Ohio State probably as the place for him to go. He's not going to want to talk about what other players that he's had that have had problems in the past and arrests that might have occurred or not occurred in the past. You remember that last year, Kirby Smart had a linebacker that didn't play because he was suspended for team violations. Same thing with Nick Saban, who sent out a statement, didn't want to really talk about it. If you bring up Deontay Brown to him, I'll bet that he doesn't really have a whole lot to say on the subject because it's not something he wants to talk about. And just because it's something you don't want to talk about doesn't mean that you should shirk your responsibility to talk about it. But not everybody is cut that way. Not everybody is talking through a box on the internet about stuff. And I get that. However, for Alabama to get mad and to get mad enough to tell Andy Staples about it at Sports Illustrated, for him to basically write a column with the bent of why is this a big deal and don't pour one out for media about why this is a big deal, it speaks to what they're really just, they're being petty. They're being petty, and it's really not going to matter come Saturday. What is going to matter is Tua Tagovailoa's ankle healthy? Is Kyler Murray healthy enough to compete at a high level? Is Hollywood Brown healthy enough to compete at a high level? And heading into the biggest game of the season for both of these teams, this is just one of the things that you're going to have to talk about. People are going to be able to voice their opinion, and it's not going to matter come Sunday. What's going to matter on Sunday is what the scoreboard says. Now, I want to talk a bit about last night's live stream. Look, I had a lot planned. I have a lot of new equipment. I have a lot of just materials that I'm working through because we came into really super chat donations and Patreon donations that really were so overwhelming that we gave some of this to charity, and I don't really like to say that as much anymore because it sounds icky, but the RJ Young YouTube community bought some toys for boys and girls. We are donating to some local charities. I don't really like to say it because that's not why I'm here. But because I got this gig at 24/7, hit the mic, and because the super chat donations have been a blessing to me to be able to do this show and to afford this equipment, we give back. That's what we do. This is. I talk a lot of noise here, and I get angry and I get upset, but this channel means a lot to me, and being able to show other folks that we are good people, that this community is good and we want to do good is important to me as well. So that said, with the live show, I forgot to turn on the mic for I want to say 10 minutes or whatever it was, but it was uncomfortable because I was trying to do call-ins, I was trying to do pre-recorded interviews as a part of the live show to just make a better product, to try to continue to push the channel toward professionalism and toward the kind of thing that you would be proud of from the days of me being on a piece of cardio equipment to yell about Baker Mayfield planting a flag, to something that you show up for and expect a good, strong product. I have really just tried to get my hands around figuring out the sound, figuring out how to best get out the content that I want to get out, to make multiple videos, not because I want to continue to just make multiple videos, because there's so much information to get out and so many things to talk about, and I believe that's my service to you, right? That's what I do. I give you what you need as far as keeping you informed and giving you a different way to think about sport I love, sport you love. I'm a college football guy. I talk about the NBA. I talk about wrestling. I talk about baseball. We'll see what else is in store for us, but we have been building the channel. It is a big deal. And I really do appreciate everybody sticking through, especially if you watched that live stream live and you saw the cluster that it became. You get to know that part of this is me learning on the fly. That part of the charm of this channel is I'm not really trained to do this. I'm learning to do this on the fly, and as much as I have really tried to become professional in what I do, I still make amateur mistakes. I still forget to turn switches. I still forget to turn on the mic like I did yesterday when I had Bill Beach on, who was telling me a really cool anecdote about how he found the channel and how he was an early adopter of the channel. The same thing with Byrne later on, who called in. The same thing with my buddy Robert, who texted me about catching the last 10 minutes of the show. Same thing with Laurel, who lives for the live streams. Like, it's her favorite thing is the live chats. Same thing with my mom, who will remind me on the one time in 600 videos that I forgot to put the bumper in. It's a lot of moving parts, and I'm getting used to it, and it's going to get better. I'm not making the same mistakes twice. And I genuinely appreciate everybody who continues to ride with me and ride with this channel, because it's very important to me. It's become bigger than anything that I could have imagined, even at the 13K subs we're at right now. And the sky's the limit for what we're doing and what we can accomplish. And I'm going to be here every day, as I have been every day, almost 18 months now. And I love it. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.